The cuffs were icy. Not the kind that snap and bite, but the kind that press into your skin slowly, as if settling in for good. 2 officers filled my doorway, blocking the exit. I hadn't even stepped fully onto the living room carpet before I spotted her. My wife stood in the corner, eyes glassy, voice trembling, but her hands didn't shake. "You killed her mother," one of the officers said. The words echoed in my head, distant and unreal. Then my son stepped into view, 12 years old, pale, gaze fixed anywhere but on me. "I saw him do it," he whispered. That was the blow. Not the accusation, not the cold steel around my wrists, but my own flesh and blood choosing her side without even meeting my eyes. I didn't speak. I didn't fight. Years of classified work had taught me one thing: don't react until you understand the why. They booked me, processed me, locked me in a cell that reeked of rust and old sweat. I sat still, breathing slow. Her face kept replaying in my mind. Not the tears, I'd seen those before, but the absence of shock in them. This wasn't surprise. This was rehearsed. Her mother had been found dead in her apartment 2 nights earlier. Blunt force trauma. No witnesses, until suddenly there was one. My son. Why him? Why that version of events? We'd argued before I left, quiet enough to keep from reaching the neighbor's ears. She despised my long absences, hated the secrecy. I'd caught traces of another man, a second phone she never meant for me to see. But accusing me of murder? That was a leap. It meant one of 2 things: she wanted me out of the picture forever, or she was covering up something far bigger. Bail was denied, they called me dangerous. That was fine. I had other ways. Inside, I kept silent. Outside, I still had people, operatives who owed me debts that couldn't be repaid with money. Day 2, I had her phone records. Day 3, surveillance footage from the night her mother died. Day 4, bank transfers into her account, large sums, from a man I recognized instantly, her ex-husband. It was tidy. She'd frame me for her mother's death, claim sole custody of our son, and walk away with both the man and the money. My boy's testimony had been shaped, fed to him until it became real in his mind. The evidence poured in without me asking twice, but I didn't act. I let it accumulate. Let her think the game was over and she'd already won. By day 6, I had everything I needed, and one thing she didn't know existed. A sealed envelope. Not for the courts. For a different kind of room, the kind where truth isn't presented, it's weaponized. The trial began on day 10. She took the stand in black, holding a tissue she never used. My son sat beside her, still avoiding my gaze. The prosecutor painted me as cold, violent, capable of anything. I didn't dispute it. When the judge asked if I had anything to say before sentencing, I slid the envelope across the table. "This," I said quietly, "is my only statement." He opened it. His eyes scanned the contents. Read. Stop. Read again. Then he looked up, pale. "Lock the doors," he ordered. "No one leaves." Seconds later, the back doors burst open. Armed operatives in plain suits streamed in. Not for me, for her. She stammered, but the lead operative cut her off. "You're under arrest for conspiracy, obstruction, and perjury. You're coming with us." Her eyes found mine. For the first time in months, I saw genuine fear. They didn't cuff her like they had me, they restrained her, efficient and impersonal. She wasn't a suspect, she was cargo. I stayed seated, silent, watching as they led her out. My son remained frozen in his chair. The judge dismissed my case in under a minute. Her trial would be different in military jurisdiction, not civilian. No cameras. No friendly jury. She understood what that meant. The last thing she saw before disappearing through the side door was me, leaning back in my chair, hands free, not even looking at her anymore. They offered to reunite me with my son, said he'd been manipulated and would come around. I refused. Not from anger, but from clarity. A son who can be convinced to destroy his father once can be convinced again. Better he remember me as the man they tried to bury than the man who stayed. That night, I went home to an empty house and sat in the dark. The silence didn't feel strange anymore. People think revenge is loud, explosive. It's not. It's the sound of a door locking behind someone who thought they'd already escaped.